Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Again, we are on day 4 of Ethony's 31 days of video taping your tarot stuff. I don't know. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. As you can tell, I have actually recorded a lot of these as kind of a batch recording kind of thing, so stick with me. I do have a day job, and then when I come home, a lot of times I am carrying out readings or trying to just keep up with Divine Trinity Tarot on social media and stuff like that, while also having, you know, my own little family and my husband and cat and trying to spend time with them. So I'm doing this though because it's pushing me and I like how it's going so far. All right, so let's keep going. Day number 4. This one's going to be a fun one because I get to show off some decks. So Ethony's asking what my favorite deck is. I don't really have a favorite deck, so I'm going to go to the second part of the question, which is like, show us 3 of your favorite decks, because a lot of people have deck lust out there. So let's get to it because we're already a minute in. The first one, and I know a lot of people are probably going to have the same ones, so I wanted to kind of go kind of different. The first one is the Osho Zen. I never thought that I would be attracted to this tarot deck for several reasons. One, because I don't know a lot about Osho. And number 2, because the pictures, and I always say you have to be attracted to the pictures, they're kind of like 80s looking. I mean, they're just so colorful. Like, I mean, that was my first impression. They're kind of just like trippy and 80s and just kind of weird. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. So I was like, kind of like, old weird deck. But you know, I tried it. I probably tried it at work. Actually, I did, and I got this one from work. And what I loved was the books, like description. So it not only are there, it's kind of hard to learn. It's not a beginner deck because a lot of the cards are reworded, and they don't, like, your court cards don't have you know, number. It's like they're triangles, and it's very confusing. So you have to get very familiar and you have to read the book, but I love what the book says and how it ties in. It almost has like a card description, like if you're using it in a reading, and then it kind of has a more in-depth entry about each card. And then come to find out, like, the pictures are awesome. I mean, they really tie into the meaning, and the more you get used to it, the better. So I'm going to give you just kind of, jeez, I have very tiny hands, so forgive me. Just kind of give you a quick overview of some of the cards. I'm sorry, some of them will be upside down, but there are some really pretty cards in here. I can already tell this is going to be kind of a longer video. Aren't these, I don't know, and they just make great for photographing, like, because, you know, I do online readings, so photographing these cards, awesome. A lot of decks that I own and that end up being my favorite ones are ones that I've either like supported on Kickstarter and therefore have followed since the beginning, or, you know, I just have happened to stumble upon an artist making a deck and again followed it from the beginning. One deck that is actually very popular right now that I did happen to find when it was being created was the Greenwich Tarot. Now, I don't necessarily consider myself a Greenwich. I consider myself basically pagan. But I, you know, so I can relate to some of the imagery. But there was something about what the artist was doing, how it just seemed so familiar. The pictures were so detailed, and they just, like, it spoke to me. Like, every time she would post like a little rough draft of an image, like on her blog, I would just be like, oh my God, I have to have this deck. So I followed it for like a year. I'm not kidding. I pre-ordered it around my birthday, and then it was kind of my birthday present to myself last year. So what I love are the little surprises about it. First of all, here's the back. I think the back is so cute. And there just was just so much, like I said, detail, but like love that was like put into this deck. There are no borders. So it's the Greenwich Tarot by Kiri, Leonard, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot her name. Anyway, I'll put her name down in the description of the video. It's definitely Kiri. And Moura is the one who wrote the book and kind of started the whole deck idea and theme. So it's great. I just want to show you some more of the pictures. Anyway, like, the pictures are so familiar. She did such a good job, like, with imagery and relating it to day-to-day life, which you're doing readings talking about day-to-day life. So, duh. I mean, these just, like, are awesome. Now, some of them, like I said, kind of go into this, like, pagan, you know, witch imagery. But see, here's just, like, a dude on a barn. Isn't that wonderful? Like the farm. I don't know, maybe because it just like transports me to like another world or another time, I should say. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera very much. I'm trying to look at the images here. I love this one. I remember when she showed like kind of a animated GIF or whatever of just showing the different layers to this picture. It's just so much. The thing is, you appreciate a deck more when you see all the work that goes into it, and that's what I love about this deck. And I'm so glad that I gifted it to myself. So glad I have it. Again, it's another beautiful deck, original artwork, great for pictures. There's just not a bad card in there. Anyway, quickly, just to wrap up, I want to show a deck that not a lot of people have. It was a deck that, the first deck that I ever supported on Kickstarter, and I had to, sorry, I'm getting so close to the camera. I had to support this one because it was like basically about one of my favorite musicians. Her name is Amanda Palmer. She was in the Dresden Dolls, and then they kind of disbanded, and then she kind of did a solo career and still doing that to this day. A lot of people know her. She wrote a book called The Art of Asking. She's married to Neil Gaiman, or Gaiman, not sure how to pronounce that. And they just had a baby. Anyway, somebody was like, hey, let's make a tarot deck. So they put it on Kickstarter. I supported it. I gave a lot of money to it. And I'm really glad that I did because they made these custom one-of-a-kind wooden boxes that were like engraved with AFP because she calls herself Amanda fucking Palmer. I'm not gonna censor myself. Sorry, kids. So this box is awesome because it's great to have wooden boxes for your decks. And the other wonderful thing is that she is all about like artists, you know, doing their own thing, no matter what it is, tiny artists, you know, giving everyone a chance. So the creator of this deck literally found 78 different people, different artists, to draw a picture for each card or paint or whatever medium they used, and like their names on the card, a little, you know, it promotes them. When you got the deck, it came with like some business cards from the artist, so that way you could, anyway, there's a lot of nudity in this deck, so I'm gonna try not to show too much of it because she's kind of known for being very free. This is, geez, I always do this. The downside is like the backs will kind of tell you, they kind of give away if the card is reversed. So if you don't like that, then don't. If you want to get this deck, if it's out there somewhere, you know, don't read it with reversals if you don't want to. But anyway, so yeah, it's just each card is so different. A lot of them are tied into her music, obviously, and her life and what she stands for. Some of them aren't. Boobs, okay, boobs. Like this one is just the Three of Swords, so it's just Amanda with the Three of Swords. Anyway, I love this deck. It's so special. I don't use it very often because for client readings, because I don't think that they're necessarily going to connect with her unless they know her and know of her work. Not to say that it wouldn't work, but that's just how that is. But you know, if I decided to use it, I don't know if anyone would really care. I put it on my website as a deck option in case someone does recognize it and want it, but it's just so cool. Again, it's like, maybe I'm just really into supporting local artists and what they do. There is a tarot deck on Kickstarter right now called the Stretch Tarot, and it's a guy who is, you know, he does kind of like graphic medium, what am I trying to say? They look like collage pictures. It's called, and again, it's the Stretch Tarot, so I want to support that on Kickstarter. I'm trying to save back some money so I can do that. So again, just start browsing decks out there that need to be crowdfunded, and it just makes the connection a little bit more special. Anyway, this video is a little bit longer. Thank you for sticking with me. Again, my top 3 were the Osho Zen, the Greenwich Tarot, in the Amanda Palmer Tarot. I'll just show you the backs of those one more time, and I'm going to give them a big hug. But again, I have close to 20 decks, if not over that, so it was very hard to choose. And thanks for viewing and stopping by, and I'll see you on day number 5. Bye, guys.